I'm Adam,
And I'm Easter. And this
and this
is
is Where There's
Where
a Williams,
There's a
There's a Way.
Williams, There's a Way.
Hey, Easter, have you ever found carrots to be creepy?
No, that's a weird question. Truth be told, I don't really like carrots that much.
Really? I love carrots.
I prefer kale. Luckily, it's trendy these days and easier to find at the grocery store than hay.
You know, now that I think of it, parsnips are like a ghostly carrot, being white and all.
You know what I think about whenever someone talks about parsnips?
Grandma. For those who don't know, Easter was adopted and raised by my grandma.
She was a great lady.
The best. In today's book, Jasper Rabbit may or may not be haunted by some creepy carrots. Let's get started. Creepy Carrots. Words by Aaron Reynolds. Pictures, Peter Brown. Jasper Rabbit had a passion for carrots, and the carrots that grew in Crayon Field were the best, fat, crisp, and free for the taking. He pulled some for a morning snack on the way to school. He yanked out a few on his way to Little League practice. He ripped them from the ground on his way home at night. Jasper couldn't get enough carrots until they started following him. He first noticed something strange after the big game against the East Valley Hares. Jasper was about to help himself to a victory snack when he heard it, the soft, sinister tonk, tonk, tonk of carrots creeping. He turned, but there was nothing there. Just my imagination, he thought, but he hopped a little faster. That night, as he was brushing his teeth, there they were. Jasper whipped around, but nothing. He laughed at himself, picked his toothbrush off the floor, and he went to bed, quickly.
Hey, I just thought about something. Did you pick me to co-host this Read Aloud because I'm a rabbit?
No, it was purely a coincidence. It was just your turn.
I'm suspicious.
That's fine. You can be skeptic all you want. I'm too optimistic to be a skeptic.
Why do you think this little boy is haunted by carrots?
You don't think that they're really there?
No, he's got to feel guilty for eating those strangely anthropomorphized carrots.
I do have to say that the one that seems to be floating and chopped in half when it's talking is pretty creepy.
And the yellow eyes. But maybe the carrots represent something else, like what he's doing that he shouldn't be.
Like what?
Is he bullying someone? Not being respectful to his parents? Cheating at school?
I don't see any signs of that. Let's keep reading and find out. The next morning, he approached Crayon Field slowly. He reached for 2 wild carrots. Nothing happened. He bit into one. Nothing happened. Whew, creepy carrots. It was ridiculous. But when he arrived home that evening... Mom! Mom! Jasper screamed. Creepy carrots! In the shed! His mom opened the door slowly. There weren't any carrots, not even the regular kind. There's no such thing as creepy carrots, Mom said, shaking her head. Later that night, as Jasper lay in bed, he heard it, breathing, terrible, carroty breathing. And there, on his wall, creepy carrots, he shouted, Dad! Dad! His dad thumped into his bedroom and threw on the light. They searched under the bed. No creepy carrots. They looked through the closet. No creepy carrots. They opened the dresser drawers. No creepy carrots. Just a bad dream, son, his dad said, shaking his head. Now, go to sleep. This wasn't going to happen. By the end of the week, Jasper was seeing creepy carrots creeping everywhere.
Were you ever scared of monsters under the bed, creatures in the closet, or anything like that?
No, I've always had an active imagination, but my fears were more grounded in reality. I was worried that my family was going to run out of money and have to move.
Or mice eat your food. I remember you were always scared of that.
Yeah, there was that one.
Why was that even a thing?
It's because we often had mice in my house, and one time they had chewed a hole in a box of cereal and eaten a bunch of it.
Ew.
Yeah.
So no boogeyman?
No. Did you know the boogeyman started off as the bony man, as in Napoleon Bonaparte? In wartime rhetoric, the English told their children that Boney, the bogeyman, would come and get them as a threat for bad behavior.
What?
It's true. It's amazing the length that people will go to share their dislike of others.
That's bananas.
Or carrots. Jasper knew his parents were wrong. Creepy carrots were real, and they were coming for him. But they couldn't get him if they couldn't get out. Jasper hatched a plan. First thing on Saturday, he grabbed supplies and headed to Crayon Hopper Field. As the sun finally set across Crayon Hopper Field, Jasper Rabbit smiled. On his way home, there was no tunk, tunk, tunk. There was no carrot-shaped shadows. His plan had worked. No creepy carrots would ever get out of that carrot patch again. And as the sun finally set, the carrots of Crayon Hopper Field cheered. Their creepy plan had worked. They were sure of it. Jasper Rabbit would never get into the carrot patch ever again. Not really there, huh?
I can't believe that they were really there and just messing with him the whole time.
How can a skeptic say that they couldn't believe something?
That's kind of the whole point of being a skeptic.
Seems to me like this was an elaborate master plan on the part of the carrots.
I'm not denying that.
But the genius thing is that the master plan is a win-win scenario.
Now I think that your optimism is making you misunderstand what a win-win scenario is. I get that the carrots win because they have a safe place to live,
and then Jasper is no longer haunted.
But the only reason that he was haunted by the carrots was because they didn't want him to eat them.
Potato, potato.
No, that's not how it works. If it was a win-win, Jasper would get to keep eating his favorite food. Maybe the carrots convince him to eat parsnips instead.
Hey, that's a smart idea.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Speaking of appreciating things, if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm Adam.
And I'm Easter. And this
is
Where There's a Williams, There's a Way.
Did you know baby carrots aren't a type of carrot? They're either immature carrots, hence their small size, or pieces of larger, thin carrots that are cut into pieces. In 2010, carrot farmers got together and started promoting baby carrots as an alternative snack food, a successful campaign that has plenty of people snacking on carrots instead of chips. I'm Adam.
And I'm Cleo.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Hey Cleo, do you have a favorite pair of clothing?
I'm a panda, so I don't really wear clothes.
Do you know what mine is? It's my lucky tie.
Thai like the food. They do use a bunch of bamboo in Thai food.
No, not tie. Like tie, you know, the thing you wear around your neck?
Oh, I see. Your pink tie. Does it have geometric pandas on it somewhere?
No, it doesn't have geometric pandas. It's just a regular tie that I believe brings me good luck when I wear it. So, you really don't have a favorite item of clothing?
My favorite item of clothing is my bamboo boot.
Bamboo boot? Did you mean bamboo shoot?
I meant bamboo boot, like a panda's boot for walking in the bamboo forest.
I'm pretty sure pandas don't wear boots, especially bamboo boots. That's an imaginative choice for your favorite clothing item, though.
I just thought it would be fun to have bamboo boots for climbing bamboo trees.
In today's book, Jasper loves his favorite pair of underwear. Until things get creepy. Let's get started. Creepy Pair of Underwear. Words by Aaron Reynolds. Pictures by Peter Brown. Jasper Rabbit needed new underwear. On Thursday, Mom took him to the underwear store, and they grabbed the last 3 packages of plain white. But as they headed for the checkout, Jasper spotted them. Creepy underwear, so creepy, so comfy. They were glorious.
Mom, can we get these?
Jasper pleaded.
I think they're a little too creepy,
Said Mom.
They're not creepy, they're cool, said Jasper. I'm not a little bunny anymore. I'm a big rabbit now.
Mom agreed to buy 1 pair. That night, Jasper wore his cool new underwear to bed. Do you want me to leave the hallway light on? Asked Dad.
Dad, I'm not a little bunny anymore, said Jasper. I'm a big rabbit now.
His dad shut the door, and that's when Jasper noticed. The underwear glowed, a ghoulish, greenish glow. He closed his eyes. He pulled up the covers. He buried his face in his pillow. But it didn't help. He could still see that ghoulish, greenish glow. Jasper leaped out of his bed and put on a pair of plain white. He stuffed the creepy underwear into the bottom of his laundry hamper. He finally fell asleep. Hey, Cleo, do you remember that time I couldn't go to sleep because I had a big test the next day?
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were so worried about that big chest you had to deal with. You were trying to lift a heavy piece of furniture all night.
Not a big chest. I was talking about a test, like an exam at school that I had to study for. But that would have been a good workout.
There was a time I couldn't sleep because I thought I had a pest problem in my bamboo forest.
A pest problem? That does sound annoying. What'd you do?
I stayed up all night, thinking I heard little bugs crawling around. Turns out, it was just the sound of the leaves rustling in the wind.
I can see how that would keep you up at night.
Yep, and then there was the time I couldn't sleep because I thought I heard a ghost in the forest.
A ghost? That must have been terrifying.
I was scared at first, but it turned out to be a host of fireflies lighting up the night. They were quite beautiful once I realized they weren't ghosts.
But when he got up the next day, he was wearing the creepy underwear. Jasper threw them into the garbage can. He was still a big rabbit. He wasn't scared of anything, but he was done with scary underwear. After school, Jasper was doing his homework when he heard it, a scratchy, scraping sound coming from his dresser. He opened the drawer, and they were back, staring at him with that ghoulish, greenish glow. He snatched the creepy underwear out of the drawer. He grabbed a big envelope and some stamps. To China. Bye-bye, scary underwear, he said, dropping the package in the mailbox. When he opened the front door the next morning, there they were. And were those chopsticks? His creepy pair of underwear had somehow returned from China, and it had brought back souvenirs. Jasper grabbed his mom's good sewing scissors. She didn't like him using them, but this was an underwear emergency. This time, the creepy underwear were gone for good. At bedtime, he slowly opened his underwear drawer. Nothing, just plain white undies. He searched under his bed. He shook out his lampshades. Whew! There was no sign of creepy underwear. He went into the bathroom to comb his ears. They were back! What's the matter with you? His mom asked. You're so jittery lately. Nothing, he yelped. A grown rabbit couldn't be terrified of his underpants. Have I ever told you about the time I couldn't get rid of one of my old sneakers?
No. Please, do tell.
Well, it all started when I decided to clean out my closet. I had this pair of sneakers that were falling apart, and I thought it was time to throw them away.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, but here's where it gets interesting. As I was about to toss them in the trash, I heard a strange little noise coming from one of the sneakers.
Really? What was it?
I couldn't believe it at first, but it sounded like a tiny mouse was squeaking inside the shoe.
A mouse in your shoe? That's crazy.
I know, right? So I carefully opened up the shoe, and to my surprise, there was a tiny baby mouse inside. It must have made a nest in there.
Oh, a little mouse family in your shoe.
It was cute, but I didn't want a mouse family living in my closet. I tried to gently shoo them away, but they just wouldn't leave.
They must have really liked your sneakers.
Apparently. It took me days to finally convince them to relocate to a more suitable spot. But I couldn't get rid of those sneakers for a while because of the mouse family.
That's such a unique story. I can't believe you had a mouse family living in your old sneakers.
Yep, it's one of those things you can't predict. He seized the underwear. He snagged the shovel from the garage, and he rode. He didn't stop pedaling until he reached Creek Hanger Hill. Jasper began to dig. He dug until his hole was dark and deep and 100% underwear proof. He dropped the underwear in, and they gleamed from the bottom, that ghoulish greenish glow. But not for long. When he got home, Jasper crept up to his dresser. They couldn't be in there. There was no way, right? He reached for the handle. He peeked in. Nothing. Just plain white. Jasper smiled and turned out the light. There was just one problem. It was really dark in there, even for a big rabbit. Jasper turned on the light. He looked at his non-glowy pair of plain white, and he knew what he had to do. The creepy underwear were a little muddy, but they still filled the room with that gentle greenish glow. The next day, Jasper gathered his allowance money and went to the underwear store all by himself, just like a big rabbit. That night, Jasper wasn't scared at all. As he lay down to sleep, he smiled, and so did his underwear, because they had finally found somebody who wasn't scared of creepy underwear.
You know, there was a time when I didn't like bamboo. Can you believe it?
Really? You're a panda. Bamboo's like your main course.
I know, right? But when I was just a cub, I used to think bamboo was just a bunch of leafy sticks. I thought, why would anyone want to eat this?
That's quite a revelation. Well, I guess my story's a bit different. When I was a kid, I used to hate school.
School? But you're a teacher.
Yep, I am. But when I was little, I couldn't stand it. I'd complain about homework, early mornings, and how long the school day was.
So, what changed?
Well, as I got older, I started to realize the value of education and all the amazing things I could learn. Plus, I had some really inspiring teachers who showed me that school could be fun and exciting.
That's quite interesting.
And speaking of that, if you thought this video was interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam.
And I'm Cleo.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Did you know King Tut, the Egyptian leader who ruled from ages 9 to 18, was buried with 145 pairs of underwear? I'm Adam. And I'm Easter. And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way. Hey Easter, is there anything that you have a phobia of or just find generally creepy? I suffer from thalassophobia. Remind me what that is? We've known each other our whole lives. I was raised by your grandma. You know what thalassophobia is. I know that it's a fear of deep bodies of water. I wasn't giving you a hard time. I was just pretending that I didn't know what it was so that you could tell the viewer what it was. Oh, that makes sense. Yes, that went swimmingly. Now you're giving me a hard time? Yes, now I'm giving you a hard time. In today's book, Jasper Rabbit is struggling in school until he finds a purple pointing, perfect crayon that helps him out. But then the crayon starts acting weird. Let's get started. Creepy Crayon. Words by Aaron Reynolds. Pictures by Peter Brown. Jasper Rabbit was struggling in school. He was flunking math. He was failing spelling. The only subject he was passing was art. Jasper needed serious help. That's when he found the crayon. It was purple, pointy, and perfect, and somehow it looked happy to see him. That night, Jasper knew he had to study for his spelling test, but Tales from the Carrot Patch was on. By the time it was over, he was way too tired to study. The test was a disaster. Jasper couldn't remember how to spell a single word. That's when he noticed something strange. Jasper picked up the crayon. Immediately, he spelled all the words correctly. And when he got his test back, he got an A+ and a sticker. The crayon looked pleased, creepy, but cool. After dinner, Jasper settled in to play Bunny Brawl 3. "Math homework first," said Dad. "Fine," moaned Jasper. That's when he saw it, scrawled in peculiar purple penmanship. "Who needs math when you have Bunny Brawl 3? 3 hours later, he fell asleep, his game in one hand, the purple crayon in the other. When Mrs. Lopshire announced a surprise math quiz, Jasper panicked. He reached for a pencil, but instead his hand wrapped around the crayon. Suddenly, math seemed easy. He knew when to carry the 1. He knew when to borrow from the bigger numbers. It was like the crayon knew exactly what to do. Sometimes I think about all the creepy things that my students find fascinating.
Creepy? Like what?
Well, for instance, spiders. They're these 8-legged creatures that can spin intricate webs. Some kids find them absolutely terrifying.
Spiders? They're not that bad. They keep the insect population in check.
True, but not everyone appreciates their pest control skills. What about ghosts? Many people love ghost stories, but the idea of encountering one really spooks them.
Ghosts? I can't say I've ever met one.
How about zombies? They're all the rage these days. Can you imagine a world filled with zombies and the undead?
Zombies? That sounds a bit much, even for me.
I agree, but there are some fantastic books out there about them. Check out Revenants by Adam J. Williams. After the quiz, he saw it, written on his backpack. Jasper plus crayon forever. Jasper felt a shiver go up his spine. The next day was the deadline for the poster contest. Jasper had been working on his entry for weeks. He just needed a few finishing touches. The purple crayon rolled across the table, all by itself. But Jasper ignored it.
"Don't ignore me."
He shuddered. He scrubbed the writing off the table. He zipped the crayon into his pencil case. He tried to forget all about the crayon. But when he woke up, his precious artwork was better than ever. It was a horrifying masterpiece in purple. "Fantastic work!" cried Mr. Hoppy Pot. "You should be very proud." But Jasper didn't feel proud. He felt eked out, freaked out, creeped out. When he got home, Jasper descended into the deepest, darkest corner of his basement. He put the crayon in a dusty box and locked it tight. He went to bed feeling much better. But when he woke up the next day, there on the mirror, "You need me." In his pencil case, the creepy crayon, and it looked happy to see him. That day, Jasper got all A+. It was terrible. Enough was enough. Jasper snapped the creepy crayon in two. He melted it in the microwave, and he threw the mess into the garbage. He drifted to sleep that night, feeling relieved. But when he woke up, there, on his wall, it was a mural of him graduating elementary school with straight A's. And worst of all, it was really well drawn. And next to it, the creepy crayon. Purple, pointy, and perfect.
Hey, Adam, have you ever gotten in trouble for cheating?
I stole a gummy bear from a grocery store when I was a kid.
A single gummy bear?
Yeah,
For one thing, who's going to get worked up over one piece of candy? Secondly, that's not cheating, it's stealing.
which you shouldn't do either of.
No, but there's a difference.
Once when I was in high school, I wrote a French paper and used a little bit too much of Google Translate.
Did you get caught?
I sure did. My teacher pointed to the paper and asked what tense a certain word was in.
Did you try and talk your way out of it?
No, I told the truth. It sure didn't feel good.
There was this one time when I was competing in a gardening contest. I may have secretly fertilized my carrots with a special nutrient mix so they grew bigger and juicier.
You sneaky little rabbit. Cheating might seem tempting in the moment, but it's always better to play fair and square.
All day, no matter what Jasper did, the creepy crayon was there, looking oh so pleased. In his hand as he aced his vocabulary quiz. In his pocket as Mrs. Lopshire named Jasper Most Improved Student. And in the crowd as the school celebrated Jasper in the special assembly. Things were spinning out of control. Jasper couldn't take it anymore. When he got home, he ran straight to the toilet, and he threw the crayon in. It just floated there, spinning slowly. It did not look happy to see him. And then Jasper saw it, scribbled inside the bowl.
Don't you dare.
But Jasper dared. That evening, Tales from the Carrot Patch was on, but Jasper studied for his spelling test. His eyes kept darting to his pencil case. No creepy crayon. He flung the toilet lid up. No creepy crayon. He got into bed, nervously watching his walls. No creepy crayon. During the test, Jasper spelled ocean wrong, but he spelled courage right. He got a C+. It was glorious. It wasn't an A, but it was his. He headed home from school that day, finally feeling free. Far, far away was an old sewer pipe. Out and away floated the purple crayon. Slowly, silently it drifted. For days and weeks. One thing was clear. The creepy crayon would never cause trouble ever again. Except that's when Elliot Pelican spotted the creepy crayon. It was purple, pointy, and perfect. And somehow, it looked happy to see him. Do you ever look back on your life and remember times when you quit doing something that you knew was wrong and it felt so relieving?
You know, one time in middle school, I used to copy my friend's homework regularly. I felt so guilty about it, but I did it because I thought it would help me get a better grade.
Didn't you know the material?
That's the thing. I knew it, but I refused to do the homework.
That sounds like quite the rabbit hole you were going down. Pun intended.
One day, I realized that it wasn't helping me learn anything. In fact, it was hindering my education. So I decided to quit copying homework, and it was such a relief to finally do my own work and take responsibility for my studies.
I used to steal vegetables.
From someone's garden?
No, from the grocery store.
What did you do, fill up a cart with veggies and just walk out?
Sure did.
Nobody suspects the healthy eaters.
I felt so bad about it that I sent a cashier's check later on.
We all make mistakes, and it's how we learn and grow from them that truly matters. And speaking of growing, if you'd like to grow my subscriber number, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm Adam.
And I'm Easter.
And this is Where There's a Williams, There's a Way.
Did you know Tin Cottage is a gift shop in Franklin, Tennessee? They claim to be haunted by a ghost boy that plays games with the store employees. Supposedly, this boy hides a box of crayons around the store.